finally, there is a battle. The Liberals have done it. Federal Liberal MPs met in Canberra today and voted to say no to the voice, no to Labor's plan to put a kind of Aboriginal advisory parliament in our constitution. And thank God.
The Liberal Party resolved today to say yes to constitutional recognition for Indigenous Australians, yes to a local and regional body so that we can get practical outcomes for Indigenous people on the ground. But there was a resounding no to the Prime Minister's Canberra voice. It should be very clear to Australians by now that the Prime Minister is dividing our country and the Liberal Party seeks to unite our country.
Well, OK, as far as it goes, but it does sound confusing. I mean, you're saying a yes to the voice at a regional level, all these regional voices, but no to one in Canberra? I mean, that's not quite how I would sell this. I would say no to the voice on principle, because dividing Australians by race is wrong. I mean, giving Australians different political rights on the basis of their race is immoral and it's dangerous. It's apartheid. But Opposition Leader Peter Dutton preferred to be more softly.
And I don't believe a voice that's enshrined in the Constitution, as the Prime Minister is proposing, against the advice of the Solicitor General and the Attorney General. It ends up being litigated in the High Court for years to come. It goes into every aspect of government consideration and decision-making. That's the advice of Marcia Langton, and they're very clear that it's that way by design.
Now, to be fair, Peter Dutton's absolutely right on that point. I mean, that is actually the way that the people who designed the voice for the government want it to work. It's deliberate. Professor Megan Davis, she's one of the 6 members of the government working group that designed this voice for the government, a week ago confirmed, yes, indeed, the voice will be able to speak to all parts of the government, including the cabinet and ministers and public servants and independent statutory officers and agencies, such as the Reserve Bank even, as well as a wider range of other agencies, including Centrelink, the Great Barrier Marine Park Authority, no less, and the Ombudsman, and so on. That is what the government's own designer says. So that's what the government really will be, almost an alternative government, advisory for now, based on race. So saying no to the voice is critically important to Australia's future, and probably the future of the Liberals as well. If they'd said yes to this racial division, they would have betrayed their most fundamental principle, to treat each Australian equally, as an individual, and not as a member of a class or a gender or a race. That's so Marxist. But even so, 5 Liberal MPs today spoke in the party room against saying no. There's Richard Colbeck and Bridget Archer from Tasmania, Russell Broadbent from Victoria, Andrew Bragg and Jenny Ware from New South Wales. Now that probably explains why Dutton won't say what a true Liberal should: no to dividing Australians forever in the Constitution by race, particularly with this body. I mean, they're going to be unelected and unsackable members of a voice. I mean, seriously. But at least Dutton has kept the very divided Liberals more or less together for now and exposed the dangerous flaws in the details of Labor's model. So be grateful to him. And what is exposed really is, yes, a massive power grab by Aboriginal activists. And as I say, unelected and unsackable. And what's more, Dutton is finally promising to campaign against the voice, and that does make it much less likely that Australians will vote yes in the referendum. I think it's going to be close, might even get up, I don't know. But at least for that, for Dutton fighting it, let's be grateful.